Yo, what's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro duel video. Next match, Cross-Banlist Cup. Next match again, two quite big names, nostalgic names especially for me. Both these lists are OCG based, and I remember from like years ago checking out one of the first, at least for me, OCG websites that, you know, covered like OCG tournaments, locals, Shriek. That name might ring a bell to old school players, like looking up the OCG lists and seeing these, you know, combos and them getting the cards earlier than us TCG players, and most of the time at maximum, at full power, as we saw, for example, with, let's say, Infernities with Triple Trishula, for example. By the time we eventually got those in the TCG, the deck was neutered, right? So the first deck, we have Synchro Cat, but again, not really the good old Synchro Cat from 2009 as we know in the TCG. The biggest strength of this deck is access to triple Dark Arm Dragon, triple Cold Wave, not to forget. But again, the most important card here in this deck is, at least the combination of cards, is Rescue Cat, PRE-ERRATA, by the way, so not limited to once per turn. Hidden Armory, or Hidden Ars, what is it called? It's Hidden Armory, right? Not really sure about its OCG name. Well, anyway, the card, you know, that search and equip spell from your deck or graveyard, but again, instantly tutoring your Premature Burial to abuse it with your Burial Neck was also legal at multiple copies back then in the OCG. Again, Cold Wave, quite crucial to shut down your own Royal Oppression, but again, having your field setup and under, at least if you have like this Royal Oppression set, you can pretty much win against the mirror match back then. And let's face it, Oppression is still a super strong card, even in today's format. The second list, we have again Laval Quasar. It was like at its peak in the OCG during its time, but again, like we know, like what happened with something like Chronomelodies, for example, and you know, there are a couple of other archetypes slash decks that suffered the same fate by the time we eventually got the new cards, like for example, you know, Quasar, the Laval cards also. The deck wasn't really relevant, again, in the TCG, also because I believe Quasar was a Shonen Jump promo, so not legal for us TCG players here in Europe, so that also was definitely a problem, right? Or, well, again, made this deck not really too relevant for us TCG players. So which deck has the advantage? Well, it's quite difficult. Both decks are heavily based on the OTK. Rescue Cat can survive, you know, for example, if your opponent has like Mixi or Battle Fader with the Oppression here, multiple Bottomless Trap, all the Gores, DD Crow, not to forget. Then again, Lavals have access to triple Battle Fader, triple Mixi, the one of Torrential, but again, I think it's most importantly here, the triple Mixi and triple Battle Fader. Battle Fader actually giving you the access to draw into if your opponent goes ham. Okay, so let's see the first duel. Okay, game number one. I think I get to start. I'm playing with Synchro Cat, the opponent is playing with Lavals. I'm already opening with the holy duo in this deck, featuring both Rescue Cat and the Premature Burial, having the Gores in hand to prevent my opponent from going for the OTK, but then again, if the opponent has like the huge foolish Burial for Lavals followed up with Rekindling, well, then you know, he can just make Quasar and go from there. This is very unfortunate, him having the Mexi, of course, at 3 here in the Laval deck. I can't go on like with, you know, Premature Burial, and maybe I just should have gone for the Cold Wave move, again using Cold Wave, prevent my opponent from, if he did have the Fader, and he did, as you saw earlier, well, just in case, if the opponent did have the Fader, making sure that, well, he's forced to use it, and during his own turn not being able to use the spells, and, well, force him to use the Fader on, like, multiple Air Bellums, right, prevent some discards, but I think it wouldn't have mattered that much. I think the combination of both Mexi and Battle Fader is quite crucial against a deck like Synchro Cat. Anyway, going first, and now no doubt definitely going to use the Cold Wave, so stun my opponent, not being able to activate spells, and of course not being able to set spell and traps during his own turn. So against a deck like Lavals, I'm definitely going for the first turn Burial next, since I did have access to Hidden Armory during my turn, again searching out the Premature Burial. You're sacrificing your normal summon, but that's not too important, especially with Rescue Cat. PRE-ERRATA not once per turn must be nice. And now it's just the fact that you can use Bottleneck again, also PRE-ERRATA, multiple times during the same turn as long as you can discard rights. You can just bounce back your Premature Burial, reuse it a couple of times, and then just pump out a big field and attack for the game. So game number 3, the opponent got to start for Laval Quasar. That's definitely good, having the card D to basically get yourself like a pot of greed. And you of course have like multiple Maxis, multiple Battle Theater to protect yourself from, well, damage or the OTK. I'm not really sure if I agree with his move. Okay, I get the blaster effect, but he knows that this deck does run like double Royal Passion, triple Bottomless Trapple. But again, yeah, his Rekindling is not really live. I believe only one target in his graveyard. Well, I get making the at least using Blaster's effect here to make the level 4 Laval monster live. You know, the one that upon normal summon, special summons like a banished Laval. But anyway, again, the same combination of moves, Cold Wave, proving that it's super important. Like the match winner, I believe, if I see his hand now here with, I believe, what is it called? The Molten Destruction field? Again, the huge Foolish Burial for Lavals, and he also had Rekindling, so that would have been GG if it wasn't for the Cold Wave here, stunning my opponent. And again, this just proves that a couple of cards like PRE-ERRATA, Bottleneck, PRE-ERRATA, Rescue Cat, Premature Burial legal in the same format as Hidden Armory, and of course triple Cold Wave. Cold Wave is such a disgusting card. Well, anyway, so Rescue Cat do take up the 2 points, and Lavals do take up a 1 point. So again, this is not one of the strongest group in the tournaments, but slower decks, not really too much shenanigans, full power shenanigans going. But again, like always, next match should follow very soon. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. LithiumCity out. Peace.